Okay. Hi. Tapper here. I am definitely tired. If you hear something odd in the background, that is Rock watching a random video. So yeah, the title of this video, yeah, you may see in my title that I mentioned I'm salvaging a plushie. Well, that's because this, you might remember this little guy. I think I made him actually during a random crafting stream. Well, this is not the first one. This is. Yeah, they're standing in the same way. This one is twisted terribly. So the only way I can have it make sense is if he's always positioned laying down. He's supposed to be a walrus. But it's not working out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make him a couch. And then basically permanently stitch him onto that couch. I think I need this to be just a little bit smaller. Not too much smaller, though.
Okay, I knew what you meant even before you finished the sentence, but the first part of that could have been interpreted either way, and that was funny.
What?
I'm gonna make him a couch. I mean, he becomes the couch.
No.
But yeah, I know. Even before you said the next part of the sentence, I knew what you meant. But that was legit the first thing I thought of. He's a couch now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do a whole lot of shaping on this, because really the point is just to make a prop. And it doesn't need to be elegant. I mean, I'm sure that the couch that was made for that one walrus, who was determined to climb onto boats to sun himself, I'm sure that walrus didn't have a particularly fancy couch. It was basically just a floating pile of whatever.
Okay, yeah, you actually have the supplies over there to make a little mini plushy couch. Or that, like, just imagine though if you had the materials to make a little mini, like, front door and doorstep.
Rock?
I am not telling you to do another thing.
My attention span is difficult right now before I start meowing. And please, computer, do you mind staying awake?
I'm just saying, like, if you have the right supplies and more energy, you could totally make a meme out of that.
I'm gonna have to figure out a good way of making sure that that my computer doesn't... Actually, I should adjust my computer settings. I should do that. After stream, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna adjust the settings so that to lengthen the length of time. Yes, I am tired. My words aren't only barely gonna make sense. To lengthen the length of time before my PC screen falls asleep. Because having it fall asleep mid-stream freaks me out. Makes me worry that I'm gonna lose my recording, my stream. But I'm gonna go offline and then struggle to get back on. And my brother is being particularly loud.
Yeah, we're just gonna say, as soon as I decide that I'm satisfied with my stopping spot, I'm gonna go and play air traffic controller.
Okay, this is gonna be a This is also going to be a short stream because I am tired. And if I'm unable to keep this thing on screen, on camera, I apologize. First time with a new camera position. I also have to periodically smack my mouse so that I can the screen stays awake, which I already had to do. I don't know. Yeah, this is also why I had my stream description saying knit ? With me. Because, like, sewing is not something I usually do. Like, this kind of sewing. It's absolutely within my skill set. I can absolutely sew this thing together. It's just not my normal modus operandi. And, yeah, like I said, I am tired. I am likely going to be saying the most random stuff. Complete nonsense while I am doing this. Today was hot. Very hot. And honestly, there's a possibility that I will be holding off on there's a possibility that I won't be streaming all that much during the summer. I want to, don't get me wrong, but thanks to my PC not being particularly fond of heat, I don't think anyone's PC is particularly fond of heat, I'll be worried about how well my stream will hold up the entire time. But I have to continue my crafting streams. Or various other streaming features, because okay, I was already not going to do a whole lot of streams for my gaming streams. I am actually doing pretty good. I've got a decent amount scheduled, so while I am still going to be streaming Final Fantasy XIV during every time a holiday comes up, because that has always been my game, just stream for holiday stuff, I am not going to be... I might not stream Hollow Knight again until it cools off. Thank you, Saribot. Yeah, like I said, Yeah, I won't stream Hollow Knight until... unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, I won't stream. That's gonna be kind of the game. It's like, I will not be during summer months. I won't be streaming unless I absolutely have to for various reasons. And because that's always been kind of my game for streams, I am trying to make sure that I'm carrying on with a routine of streaming during holiday events. But other than that, I won't be streaming much of Final Fantasy XIV. Recording, maybe, if there's something that if I know I'm going to be doing something that could potentially be hilarious. Yeah. Hollow Knight, my only other gaming. I have Hollow Knight episodes scheduled all the way out through July, so the next time I know I have to plug in a new episode for Hollow Knight is August. So in theory, I could wait on streaming Hollow Knight again. Yes, I want to stream more of it. I want to finish the game, but while my PC is crying over the heat, I'm a little unwilling to. However, my crafting streams and my just chatting streams, the stuff that I alternate with the Final Fantasy XIV episodes, I don't have as much scheduled ahead for those. So I have to keep if I want to continue filling in my scheduled projects, I have to. And no, I don't know what stitch I'm doing. I am just tying this together. Yeah, the video for this stream is probably going to be going public around somewhere in June. And that's the thing. It's like I've got, for Final Fantasy XIV, I've got episodes posted all the way through to mid-July. And for Hollow Knight, I've got episodes posted just a little bit farther ahead. Yeah, my next, if I remember correctly, my next Hollow Knight. Yeah, my next Hollow Knight video I need to post up on August 10th, while my next Final Fantasy XIV video is for July 24th, I think? But the next scheduled video I have for crafting, or just chatting, because either one of them works, June. So I do need to keep up with those streams. Next week's stream is going to be just chatting. I've got a couple more videos to watch with you guys. But I'm not sure what my next craft is going to be. I would love to be able to follow a system where I'm streaming 2 projects. One of those projects is Just realized I hadn't moved in a while. One of those projects is the primary stream project of the day, while the other one would be for a larger, longer running project. The biggest problem I'm having is just when I don't have ideas. Like, I had the idea for this guy, for this thing, but I didn't have but I don't have any real idea after this. I could use my crafting streams for I could use my crafting streams for commissions, and I would love to do that. I would love to use my crafting streams to work on commissions. If I had any commissions. I am having trouble staying in frame. I apologize. And I also apologize for ads. And there go the ads. I'll quickly just throw a knot in here to hold this down. Alright. Welcome back from ads, everybody. Bambi! Thank you for the gifted subs! And that's a hype train. Thank you, and, okay, who got hit with that? Tristy, Ryuga, Lost, Delilah, and Galaxy Prime. Hope you enjoy your subs. Thank you. Not able to stick around, but saw you were live and wanted to stop by. I hope stream goes well. Thank you, Bambi. Yeah, stream's been going well. Stream's been going great. It's been kind of low energy. My drive home from work was really hot, and that drained a lot of my energy, but I'm doing alright. I've mostly just been... Yep. Let's see. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I've mostly just been rambling about my plans for the channel, at least during the summer. Although, a lot of the plans that... Yeah. I'll be streaming... I'll be mostly doing crafting streams because I don't have as much scheduled crafting stuff on my channel. Not compared to the gaming. Okay, this is almost there. Wait, yep. Enjoy your gift subs. I am gonna give you a shout out, Ryuga. And I'm gonna shout out to Bambi. Let's see. Yep, enjoy the gift subs. Anyway. I hope stream's not too stuttery. Alright. But yeah, I'm not completely sure what I'm going to be making next. I know I want to have 2 craft projects going at a time. One would be something that I would hopefully finish in a single stream, while the other one would be larger and would carry across multiple streams. I also apologize if I'm not in frame. I've got OBS in a slightly weird position so that I can see what's... Yeah, I've got my OBS window in a slightly weird position so that I can see what's going on my activity feed. Because otherwise, I would not necessarily have known that the hype train went off, or that my sub goal got hit. Okay. Yep, enjoy access to my admittedly not very many emotes yet. I'm actually considering trying to make a new emote of my own. A new emote on my own. I just haven't completely decided what that emote's gonna be. Maybe a frog. That is the other sound that I sometimes end up making. I just need to decide why. Thank you, Coffee Bot. Okay. So there's his little couch. And I'm gonna attach him onto the couch. So he's always viewed in that position. I'm gonna put him over here. And it's a bit more obvious that he is supposed to be a walrus. Let's see. I'll just loosely tack him on. It doesn't need to be too heavily stitched. Come on. And here. And yeah, the curved needle. To quote Rock, so that's what a dying frog sounds like. Yes! Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the sounds that I have made. Just as I'm just trying to process what just happened. Let's see what's in the hype chest. Oh, that's a fun one. Huh. Alright. Come on. Yeah, yeah, autocorrect is a weird device. It's like it thinks it knows it thinks it knows you, and it really doesn't. In fact, I might even only really tack him down on one side. I don't need to sew him down all the way. of people look at this thing and ask if he's supposed to be a shark, and no, he's a walrus. He's got a... Where's his face? It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Yep. There's his face. It's just that somehow he got twisted. I think when I crocheted him the first time, I missed a row. Still not completely clear how I missed a row. But it is what it is. I think I might have been crocheting while at work, which meant I was distracted. You think autocorrect got worse when you switched to the S24 from the S9? That's a possibility. Anyway. But yeah, to anyone who likes crafting, likes sewing in particular, the curved needle is actually very useful. It can be a little... Slight pun here. Slight pun incoming. Okay, I'm gonna tack the... Slight pun incoming in a second. I'm gonna tack the little tusks. Since I wasn't going to go all the way around, I'm gonna tack the tusks down so that they stay at least relatively where they're supposed to be. I'm supposed to just bending all over the place. There is a bit of a learning curve to using the curved needle, but it does make sewing a supposed to be flat-ish shape to a supposed to be curved shape really easy. Okay, now I just need to tuck the end of this string inside. And people are wondering, if people can't see what I'm doing, that's okay, I can barely see what I'm doing either. Okay. And boop. And there. That's a big couch for one little walrus, but now he's actually tacked down in a position where it's a little easier to tell what he's supposed to be. He's just a walrus chilling on a sofa. And I actually left so much space behind him deliberately. If this is going to be just a little display piece, I wanted to make sure that it was big enough that potentially someone could, like, have this sitting on a shelf and then have him joined by a friend. And there's two on the shelf. Yep, keeping the immersion alive. Because, yeah. Yep. Yeah, this guy came from a YouTuber who, I don't remember what her real name is. Her YouTube name is Complicated Knots. This little guy was... The walrus was one of her 12 days of crochet that she had going in December. And yeah, I think she had been doing a 12 days of mischief, and this guy had been number 4. And she chose him because of one particular walrus who really liked climbing onto boats to try to sun himself, and the only way they could get him to stop doing that was by basically making him a big floating couch, so that then he could just climb and sit on that and leave the boats alone. So yeah, this was all I was going to do. Yeah. My next stream was going to be a just chatting stream where I watched a couple of videos. And that's going to be next week at some point. I don't know what my schedule looks like for next week, so I don't know what my work schedule looks like next week, so I can't plan for my streaming schedule very clearly. But the stream after that, as long as I don't get hit with a holiday in Final Fantasy XIV, I really do not know when my next Final Fantasy XIV stream is going to be. But yeah, frustratingly, I don't have plans. There are a couple of things I could work on, but if it's going to be a video, I'd rather be able to start it and then end it. Yeah, like I said, some points, as part of my rambling, I want to be able to have 2 projects going in each crafting stream. One of them would be a ongoing project that continues for multiple streams, and then the other one would be for projects that I would start it that stream, and I would finish it that stream. But I don't know what either of those projects will be this time. I have yarn, but I don't have ideas. The yarn I have, actually, I'm gonna bring that out. I have some yarn that's called, let's see, I've got, I have this type of yarn. It's a little bumpy, a little scritchy. I've got a bag of the stuff, so I've got a lot. This is actually what I used for a couple of my projects in the past. I had used it for Ronka's teeth. I used it for, let's see if I can get this up on front of the camera without too much trouble. I used it for Scrappy's little toes. And I'm also going to use it for his teeth once I get that far. He still doesn't have his head. No, I cannot work on Scrappy on stream because he's just too big. The other thing I had made with that yarn was this little guy. This I often use as my prototype yarn. At least it feels like I'm using it as prototype yarn a lot because it's, well, 1, I have a decent amount of it, and 2, depending on what scale I'm working on, it's not going to get very big, because I have to use my really thin knitting needles with it. I don't know if I want to try to crochet with it, though. The other yarn I have is this yarn. It's called Lamb's Pride, which, honestly, could end up being a bit of a interesting choice, considering next month is June and is Pride Month, so yeah, it's Pride. The thing is, this yarn, I literally only have, I don't have much of this yarn left. It looks like a lot, but I only have this much for purple, this little scrap for white, and this monstrosity of, what's this yarn called? Rose Blush. This thing is like almost the size of my head. Reason it's that big is because I had unraveled something that I had frogged something I'd made once before. Because I realized that I'd made it, but I was no longer wearing it. So I said, just get the yarn back. So yeah, I'm not completely sure what I'm gonna make out of this. If anyone has any suggestions, or even requests for what I could make with with any of these yarns, I would appreciate it. But yeah, in the meantime, I do not have any further ideas. Although actually, I could, instead of... Okay, to be real, absolute seriousness. The start and end in the same day stream project, it doesn't have to be knit. I can choose to draw. So if someone would like to see me draw something, I could do that too. But in the meantime, I am tired. I don't know if I even would be able to maintain the attention span for drawing, so yeah, I'm probably gonna call it there. Shorter stream. So yeah, next week is going to be a just chatting stream, and the week after that is gonna be my first, probably my first crafting stream of June, possibly something else, depending on various factors. But yeah, now I just need to find someone to raid. Let's see. Alright, Aeoni Avalon is currently active. I don't know if I want to... Let's see. Yeah, sure, I could raid Aeoni Avalon. She's playing Marvel Rivals. I'm probably going to end up just raiding, to use someone else's nickname. I'm probably just going to raid and fade, but it's fine. I spelled that wrong, didn't I? There's an E in there. Okay. O N. There you are. Yeah, I'm just gonna raid Aeoni. I don't have any raid messages in mind. Oh, we could go with salvage raid, since that's what I was doing. I was salvaging a plushie. Anyway, hope everyone has a wonderful remainder of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!